It has begun. Vegans everywhere have crawled out of the woodwork in order to comment on my YouTube channel and tell me how much they hate me because I stopped being a vegan. So let me start by saying this. Look, I'm not 99% of the population that says things like, oh, I could never go vegan because I love meat so much, right? That's not me. I actually was vegan for 5 years, okay? So I understand what it takes to be a vegan, how you have to eat, how you have to think about getting things like B vitamins and protein. I understand what it takes to be a vegan. I can do it. I 100% can be a vegan if I wanted to. Right now, today. I have the knowledge, the tools, the skills to do it. I've done it for a long period of time. And all that being said, there's one thing that vegans always get wrong. And look, I've seen the memes. I've been part of the groups on Facebook and on Instagram, and I've seen all the memes and the funny jokes about vegans say about non-vegans. And they kind of stand on this moral high ground of being better than other people because they don't kill animals. And look, there's this funny thing. I even said it in my last video. I said, a lion will tackle a gazelle, right? And kill it and eat it. And vegans take that so literally. It's hilarious. They go like, you're not a lion, you're a human. So why are you talking about lions? And it's like, dude, that's not the point at all. The point is nature is harsh. Nature is unforgiving, right? Animals eat other animals. That's part of nature. That's part of the world. That's how the world works. The circle of life. Larger animals eat smaller animals. Faster animals that are good at killing kill smaller animals that run away and don't eat animals. And so that's kind of the point behind it, is that at the base of everything, humans are animals. So if you agree with that, then you'd have to say, well, what kind of animals are we? We're omnivores. We eat vegetables, fruits, meat, dairy, eggs. We eat all of it. And now vegans come along and say, oh, we shouldn't be eating half of those things. And the truth is, well, that's just not accurate. We've been eating it for centuries. First of all, in other words, veganism is a big giant experiment that we have no idea what's going to happen if everybody started eating vegan. We have no idea what the long-term implications are of eating a vegan diet and how that can affect your body over a span of 100 years, 50 years even. We don't know, because we haven't been doing it long enough. Sure, there are some people who have done it, but there's not enough studies or data around what happens to the human body when we eat a vegan diet. So it's all just based on a big giant experiment. Now, if you want to be part of that experiment and you want to be progressive and you want to be like, in that lane, good for you. Go for it. Nobody's stopping you. I have nothing against you. I don't even have a negative thing to say about it. Just understand where it fits in society, right? It's not like you're doing the best thing in the world for everybody else and everyone else that doesn't do it is an idiot. You're doing something that is progressive. You're doing something that is new. You're doing something that is not studied. And so treat it that way. Don't treat it like, oh, I'm better than everybody because I don't do this one thing. That's not how you should feel about it at all. And that's why vegans get a bad name. That's why people don't like vegans and make jokes about vegans. It's because a lot of them tend to think you are a complete fool and you don't know what you're doing if you're eating animal products. And that's just not true. We've always been eating animal products. It's just how the world has gotten to where it is today. So if you don't want the world to be where it is today, and then of course super progressive people will say, well, the world's in a terrible place and blah, 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 and this and that. It's not what I mean. Obviously, our civilization has built over time into what it is today, to the point where we have technology in the palm of our hand. We can hail a ride, a taxi ride via Uber from anywhere in the world, get anywhere we want to go, right? That's just one example of how far we've come with technology. I can make a video right now on my phone and upload it to YouTube later today with no issues whatsoever. Thousands of people can see it. Millions of people could potentially see it, all because I have a phone and an internet connection. And that's it. That's all you need. That is insane technology, right? That is absolutely remarkable. And to pretend that, our world is in a terrible place or something like that, like I get it, there's things that could be better. But don't pretend like everything's falling to shit when it's not. We're all completely fine. And it's a first world privilege to be like, oh, I'm not gonna eat animals anymore. I'm only gonna eat plants. And look, I've been through all of this. I've seen the documentaries, I've seen the memes, I've been part of the groups, I've been the vegan that tries to talk other people into being vegan. I've done all of it. I understand it from the inside out. So I'm not saying I'm better than you because I'm not a vegan anymore either. I'm just saying you need to see both sides. Let's be reasonable human beings here. Let's have a discussion about it rather than jumping down each other's throats and you saying, you're not a lion, and us saying, well, lions eat gazelles, right? It's irrelevant. The point is, the world is harsh. The world is unforgiving. Nature will kill you if you are part of nature, right? We've been so far removed from nature that we think we're not animals anymore, but guess what? We are, my friend. We are still just animals. And that got me really thinking about this. And I was thinking, you know, I have 2 children. I have 2 kids, right? I also have a cat. His name is Nako. My cat is a great cat. The reason I have him is because, you know, in one of my houses that I lived in, we had mice. We decided, let's get a cat. That way the cat will keep the mice away. He's awesome. He climbs on my lap to get pet. He climbs on my chest and rubs his face against my beard. He loves me. I have a good connection with my cat. He's awesome. Now, if my children are in danger and somebody, for whatever reason, there's no reason this would happen, but let's just play the game, right? Somebody says, your children are gonna die, or your children will be harmed unless you kill your cat. Guess what? I'm gonna snap that little fucker's neck so fast, I won't even feel bad about it. I would not care at all. It's not even a question. I would easily kill a cat if it meant my kids were gonna live. Now, hopefully this doesn't go like super crazy and everybody hates me, but that's the facts, right? And look, this led me to start thinking even more to, there's this darkness inside of human beings. To ignore that, or to avoid that, or to suppress that, pretend that doesn't exist, that's on you, right? We all have it. We all have this darkness inside. We would all do heinous things, disgusting things if it meant that we would survive another day. That's just part of being an animal. That's part of being a human. That's part of surviving. So for people to switch their diet to eating only plants and then think they're better than other people and look down on other people, that's a joke. That can't happen. That's not reality, because those same people would shoot a cow in the face if they were gonna die, and they wouldn't feel bad. At the core of everything, we're wired for 2 things, survival and reproduction. We do everything we can to make sure we survive another day. We do everything we can to make sure our offspring survives. And that's all there really is to it. Let's make it simple, right? Let's break it down to the simplest parts. Animals eat animals. We are animals. Boom. Conversation over. We're omnivorous. We eat animals. We eat plants. It is what it is, right? Now, if you want to be vegan, like I said, that's your choice. I'm not even hating on it. What I do hate on is when you hate on people that are not vegan because you think you hold this moral high ground and you're better than everybody. That's not cool. That's not true. So that's where I'm at with it. Again, I've been getting crazy comments from people that just obviously aren't watching what I'm saying in the video. I've been a vegan for 5 years. I am a nutritionist. I know how to be a vegan. I can easily do it. But I found that my body responds better to a non-vegan diet. And here's the thing people forget. Here's the really big thing that people do not understand, and they get it wrong 24/7, all of the time. Nutritionists get it wrong, doctors get it wrong, everybody's getting it wrong. And that is the number one thing that matters the most is individual physiology. That means you cannot tell me that a stay-at-home mother of 5 kids needs to eat the same diet as a professional athlete or somebody that's training 7 to 9 times per week, and they're training cardio, they're training strength training, they're training fighting, whatever they're training, right? You can't tell me those 2 people need the same diet or should eat the same diet. That's ludicrous, absolutely ridiculous. We're very different person to person. We're not the same at all. So you have to go based off of what your physiology feels best with. And when I was on a vegan diet, I didn't feel nearly as good as I feel today on a non-vegan diet. When I get to eat a steak and I can eat some chicken, when I started adding those foods in after 5 years, my body was like, whoa, like I felt multiples better. And I wish it wasn't true. I wish I could stay on the progressive side, pushing for the next best thing, for the world to be vegan so that, you know, there's less waste in the world, so that we're not killing animals and all those nice fluffy things. But the truth is, At our core, we're simple beings. We're animals. We have a darkness inside of us. We will do disgusting things if it means our survival, if it means the survival of our offspring. Deal with it. That's in us. We turn into different animals when we have pressure. When we're put into survival mode, we will do ridiculous things. And don't pretend like you won't just because you don't eat animals. It's not true. If you were in a survival situation, you better believe you're going to eat some fish if you caught a fish, right? It just is what it is. We need to survive. We're wired for that, mainly. We've gotten to this place where we have so much technology around us that we don't necessarily think about survival very often anymore. But at the core of what we are, that is what we are. And it's time that we come to terms with that and deal with it in a different way. Do factory farming techniques need to change? Maybe. Probably. Did it get a little bit out of hand with the amount of slaughter that we do all of the time? Maybe. Maybe we don't need as much meat. There's an argument there. I don't know what that argument is. I don't have the data. I don't have the numbers. I'm just saying, let's be reasonable, right? The truth always exists somewhere in the middle. One extreme or the other extreme is never correct. Never. Almost never, right? That's why being a liberal or being a Republican, you're both wrong. You're both just saying opposite extremes. The truth is always somewhere in the middle. Same goes with, there's people commenting like, yeah, carnivore diet's the way on my video. Like, no, it's not. Absolutely wrong. That's just a different extreme diet. It's time to get out of this extreme mindsets and start focusing on what really works. And that's somewhere in the middle where the truth is, where our biology is. Our biology responds to averages over time, right? We don't respond to like, eating meat for like 3 days straight. Like, your body will start to have maybe some effects. But really, it's, okay, what did you do for 3 months? What did you do for 6 months, 12 months? What did you do for 5 years to your body? That average over time is what will have the most profound effect on our bodies. And the reason I always go back to bodies, by the way, is that's why I went vegan in the first place. I didn't do it for the animals. As you can tell, like, animals are cool, whatever. I like them. You know what I like a lot more? People. I love people. It's time for more people to appreciate and love other people and want what's best for other people. We don't need to make everything about animals, okay? We are animals. Let's love people first. There's crazy people out there going into schools shooting up children, okay? Worrying about whether or not people are eating steak is a complete misuse of your time and energy, my friend. I'm sorry, it had to be said. There you go. Who cares about the cows? Let's worry about our human children, our humans. So that's what I was thinking about today. I woke up with that on my mind. I started writing and I wrote about all of this stuff. And I'm really working through this in real time with you. So, I get it. There's people that are gonna be like, oh, you should be a vegan. Oh, you should do a carnivore. You should do this. You should do that. Oh, why should I trust you now that since you made a mistake of being a vegan for 5 years? Listen, I'm a human. I'm here working through this in real time with you. I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of data that I've looked into. I started looking into sports science, sports nutrition, and more than looking into it, I started investing in it, right? I started learning how to read lab results so I could understand blood work, so I could understand what my body needs. And not just the bullshit reference ranges that the medical system gives us. Those are based on pretty much nothing. They're based on survival. And I'm not trying to survive, I'm trying to optimize. So I started looking into that, investing into that. I spent a lot of money to learn these things, right? Because I'm a nutritionist now. I want to be at the cutting edge. I want to help my clients get that much better. I want to optimize their life, not just help them survive. So I invest in those things and I learn about these things and I can't just ignore it and I can't just continue to be a vegan if I feel in my heart that that's not the common sense thing, that's not the correct thing, and that's not the way my physiology works, particularly for me. And if you choose to be vegan, you should look at it as a progressive new way of eating, even though you might not think it's that new. It is pretty damn new. I'm saying less than 50 years of people doing this right now, right? Maybe 50 years ago there were people doing it, but it was a very, very, very small percentage. We don't have a lot of data on vegans. I know they love to make documentaries and they shout really loud and they stand in the street and show you videos of animals being killed. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have data on what exactly happens to our physiology when we eat a vegan diet for a long period of time. And I always go back to the health because that's what I care about the most. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do care about animals more than you care about your health. If that's the case, go ahead and be a vegan. I don't care. I'm just saying, I care about my health first and foremost. I want to live to meet my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I want my kids to live forever. I want to be there for them into late ages so that they can always have their father there. So that's what I care about. Now, if you're single or you don't have kids, maybe you don't. Maybe you care more about animals. I don't understand it because that's not me, but hey, that's you. Time we realize we're all different. The truth lies somewhere in the middle, and the extremes are never the correct answer. And there is no correct answer, really. It's a sliding scale, and you're only wrong if you're stuck on the extremes and unable to see that it slides. So hopefully this video gets you thinking. That's my goal. It's not really to change anybody's mind. Just think for yourself. Just do your own research. Just write your own manifestos going deep into why veganism isn't the smartest thing, going deep into why carnivore diets aren't the smartest thing, going deep into why you think veganism is the correct thing. Think for yourself. Stop just consuming what everybody else is saying and taking it for what it is, right? I mean, I know you've seen the documentaries, you've seen What the Health, you've seen Game Changers, you've seen these documentaries. Don't just take them for what they're saying, okay? Anybody can cherry pick studies. Anybody can put together a series of studies and say, look, this is the truth. But then another person can find the exact opposite truth with the exact opposite studies. So it's just really important to do your own due diligence, your own thinking, your own common sense, right? Use common sense. What feels right in your gut? Don't always just base it off of what some talking head is saying. But hey, I'm glad you're listening to this talking head. And that's all I'm doing right now is talking. I'm not running labs and doing all types of sciencey stuff behind the scenes to figure out the most ideal vegan diet, right? I help people with their nutrition. I help people optimize their nutrition. And I'll tell you what, it's almost never a vegan diet as the best possible choice. Now, if the person's vegan and they come to me, I will help them. I'll help them optimize their vegan diet to make sure that they're hitting all of their goals. But I never push someone towards being a vegan like I used to when I knew so little. And that back then I thought I knew a lot. And that's called growth. That's called growth, friends. So don't jump at me saying, why should I trust you now if you were wrong for 5 years about being a vegan? Well, I grew. I learned a lot. I learned a lot over the 5 years. I don't even think I was wrong for being a vegan. I did it for health reasons because I was sick. I had Lyme disease. So I wasn't wrong for choosing a vegan diet. I may have been wrong for staying with it for so long. I may have been wrong for thinking that it's the correct diet for everyone, but I don't think that anymore because I grew. So there's growth in this as well. Don't always stay stuck. We got to stay fluid, stay moving, stay growing, learning over time, right? So anyway, I hope this video makes you think a little bit, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.